Welcome back, and happy Wednesday, guys. Feeling like a Monday to me, but it is a Wednesday, and it's good to see some people in the chat. Maybe we'll have some people that just can't make the live on Tuesdays and are here able to hang out. Shout out to Dennis, Jill, Leo, and Nate for being here. Leo, we missed you last week. Glad to see you're here, my man. And this is the Doctor's Orders live stream on your way in, whether you're watching live and in real time right now, or like the hundreds of people watching on replay afterwards, or listening podcast style like Dennis. Just see if you remember to hit the thumbs up on your way in. And if you want to share it out, we're going to have some interesting conversations today, and see just kind of what random direction we can take it. My name is Dan. I go by C Bearded on the internet. Shout out to our guy Dynamite in the house. And I co-host this show, and I just have a great time facilitating conversation, having long-form transparency where you guys get to know this company after hundreds and hundreds of hours of talking about personal lives, talking about the company and the products and whatever the heck we want to talk about. Hello, Channing. And speaking of that, we do have a man who, I haven't said anything. He's looking a little different today.
Ooh.
I see that stash be stashing more than normal. And I see that head decoration, that scalp peacock coming out to play today. Got a new style of hat on, and I'm excited to hear about both those things. Nick, how you doing? And then what's going on with those two observations?
You know, as you can see, I'm doing well.
Woo.
I'll just take a Leon. What's it? The ladies' man, Leon Phelps. My distant cousin, Leon Phelps, as he says. As you can see, I'm doing well. So yeah, new squash basket. This thing's pretty sweet. You know,
what'd you call me?
Oh, the squash basket.
Come again?
Oh, you like that?
I
figured you'd like that. I figured you'd like the squash basket. It's where you keep your lettuce. It's where you'd keep your lettuce. It's where I keep my squash.
Yes.
I mean, that's, it's different strokes for different folks, but that's neither here nor there. You know, we talked about it a bit last week. Thanks to the wonderful Arden here in the chat. Maybe not in the chat.
Maybe not in the chat. He usually pops in for lunch.
He'll be here for lunch probably. He'll get hungry at some point and come back. And so they, thanks to Arden, I now have, partially thanks to Arden, because it's also partially thanks to Jill, my lovely wife, in the chat. I now have a small collection of these scally cap hat options. So today is the first day that we've had weather that permitted wearing one out in the wild, because it's been warm, and
it's been hot here too.
And these things do not breathe, which is by design. You don't want them to breathe when it's 20 degrees outside and wet.
Right.
So it's but I'll tell you what, you know, I'm not mad at it.
It looks like you've worn it for 20 years. Like I don't see it, and I'm not like, what is that different? And then get used to it. And I'm just like, yeah, that definitely is what you should be wearing.
I think it has to do with being 98% Irish. I think that probably has something to do with it. Is like, genetically speaking, I think it's a welcomed accessory, right? It's just like one of those things where like it's I mean, hey, you can't deny a stereotypical look when you put it on and it looks like you've been wearing it for 20 years. It reminds you that stereotypes do come from somewhere.
Yes.
Yep. And here I am. And so I figured, you know, if I were to leave the house with like a full on new thing going on, it's kind of funny. Coincidentally, in unrelated news, I was shooting a video today, and it's a video where I kind of wanted maybe for people to go, huh? And so I was like, how am I going to do that subtly? So I figured mustache, and then all of a sudden the scally cap came together with it. And then next thing you know, I had some mustache wax out, and I had a little comb out, and I'm sitting there with the heat and sitting there moving it around, kind of playing around. And well, I didn't use enough wax. So here we are later on. It was all curled up like that for a little bit, but next time. We're getting there. It's a progressive process.
There you go. And
Iterative, you might say.
And Leo says, I've never worn a scally, but flat caps are my go-to. Good choice.
Yeah, so I'm kind of figuring out where I fit. And there he is, Arden. Speaking of the devil,
talking about you.
He sure does. Look at that. Dan made it home, and Nick has his hat. This is it. Here, live in the flesh, my friend. We did a couple of size exchanges, and okay. Now that we're all being honest, let's talk about Boston Scally Cap real quick. And they have a whole Halloween collection they released this year. There's ones, it has a Frankenstein patch inside the hat, Jill, and it's purple and green.
Ears. Jill, step away. Jill, please exit the conversation.
She showed it to me.
She showed it to me.
This is all her fault. She's to blame, because now Jill has another excuse to accessorize. The next thing you know, I'm going to have these things. They're going to be multiplying like I fed them after midnight. These things are just going to be like popping out of the woodwork.
Jill's an enabler. She is enabling this problem. She is very excited about this problem. And I know how happy this conversation makes her. So Jill, I'm witness here. Witness. She likes the hats and they have Halloween themed. Goodness.
Oh, yeah. And there's like multiple Halloween themes. They were like, which one are we doing? Can't decide. Do them all.
Yeah.
It was like,
as they should.
It was like, oops, all marshmallows. Like it was the way they went. Like it was fantastic.
As they should. So, and then David says, you need to get one that is cotton instead of wool for the summertime. And he also said, be careful with them. Their customer service is terrible.
Well, you don't say. I thought you'd never ask. Okay.
This is not a plant. I know David, but not like I didn't tell. Okay. Wow. You don't say. Oh man. Oh man.
Third email down, I might say, in my Outlook right now, because this is an ongoing discussion, of which the last one said, guys, I completely understand where you're coming from. However, I think this one might require a little special attention. If you could get me up to a manager, that would be great. Thanks. So we shall see where it goes. But so far, David Hill's statement has been abundantly accurate. And it's, here's what gets me is it's beyond disappointing, because the way I reached out wasn't, oh dude, wait a minute though. This is so good. This is so good, Nate.
There's legs to this.
I reached out and I was literally like, hey, I reached out from my Dr. Nick's email and I introduced myself and let him know who we are, kind of said what we do in the area. They're a local Boston company. Yep.
And they're a local business owner too.
So here we are, like local Boston business reaching out to local Boston business. Yeah. And they quoted me back a very rigid kind of a response. And I was like, I get that. But here's some more information that might help. And they were like, sorry, we are unable to make an exception in this case. And it was like, again, very, very boilerplated kind of feeling. Right. And so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they outsource some of their customer care. And I need to get someone who actually has some skin in the game at the company. So that's right. That's what I'm doing now to kind of explain my situation. If I'm expecting one of two responses, I'm expecting Nick, sorry about all that. Yeah, no, great to meet you. It's so cool that you're wearing our stuff. Hey, I'd love to, love to this, love to that, but that'd be kind of okay, cool. That there's one response. The other one is either no response, or we stand by our customer service agents stating that we can not offer an exception to our policy at this time. Robot voice. I'm expecting one of the two, so I don't know, but I will report back. And I'm not telling them that I'm going to be talking about it on the internet very openly and transparently, but I'm going to be talking about it on the internet very openly and transparently.
Yeah, which is your right. And Jill, the only thing I see online, I was just looking up because I was curious too, is it still says they're in Massachusetts. I'm not even going to attempt to say it because I think you have to say it with a lisp, but it's, I guess I'm going to contradict myself. Is it
You say
Waltham?
Methuen?
Waltham?
Waltham? Rentham?
It's like Walt Ham.
Oh, Waltham. Yeah, Waltham.
Yeah.
You can
You
say
gotta say it with a
Waltham.
lisp, right?
Waltham. It's
Waltham.
Waltham.
And this is like, take this example right here, you
Hard
guys.
one.
Right? Nate said this shows you how important customer service is. We are bragging about the products. And the guy that really was saying the nice things about their products said, I've crossed them off my list to purchase from, and then
Are you
follows
serious?
it. Yeah, look right here, David, he's talking all about them, has them. It's so bad. Not the product, but the customer service. I've crossed them off my list to purchase from. And that same person says no one does customer service like Dr. Nick's. This is so big because I think one aspect of Boston Scally that people like is that, hey, it's from Boston. I can think about their origin. I can think about the story of someone creating this American company and growing and love it. The challenge of scaling, though, is you lose touch on some things. Sometimes, not everybody. And it's a good lesson to learn on if you do want to grow, which everyone should want. If it's a company you love, you want them to grow. More people experience it. Let's not get selfish and be like,
which is why I've approached it the way I
Yeah.
have so far, right? I'm giving them the benefit of that doubt right there.
Yeah. But they're teaching the lesson of how to scale and how the things that got them there, they're abandoning. And any company owners out there, we got Nick in here, we have Nate in here, we have others. That is like the lesson. David said he loved the products. You love the products. Frustrated. How many people leave after that point? And it's just so sad because it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Now, as you grow, you get more emails, you get more customer service situations. But as you grow, you should be supplementing it with more employees, better employees. And so this is just, we didn't have any of this on the agenda, of course, but wow, is this like timely as it's this beard season and Nick is doing some stuff that is going to grow this company. And then that's crazy. That's crazy to hear the situation. And he says their customer service, unprompted, you had only said good things. And then your follow-up of, you don't say. And then you literally have an email asking for a manager. Yeah, wow, that's 2 for 2 right there of people talking about the company.
Dude, so here's the thing that gets me to what you just said about scaling. And I guess this is actually a really important, if we're teaching a clinic about how to do what people are talking about, we're doing here, right? If I'm catching a lesson from any of this, what it is, it's not a people problem. It's not it's not a head count problem or manpower problem.
Okay.
It's a process problem, in my opinion. So, it's when you're scaling this sort of thing, I think when you're new, what gets you there, right, is the fact that you're often interacting with one of the people who started the company or one of the people who has some ownership in it, right? The company's real small, so the customer service is great and it's passionate. Right. And then you grow a little bit and then you get someone in that role internally, right? And now it's still really good because that person was trained by the founder or the owner or whoever. And then also every customer service email is only one step away of escalation to the founder.
Exactly.
Right. So like if a person has a problem, they're one step away from getting to me at any point when something needs to get escalated. Now you grow one step past that. Okay. There's where the problem lies, because it's not that now the first person, the person that was great before now sucks. It's that person now natively becomes the source of training and the source of escalation and the target of escalation. So now your customers are 2 steps or 3 steps away from someone who's got skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think it needs to, it's one of those things where the escalation process, depending on what it is, needs to be able to have direct access to a founder if it warrants it right away.
And there's something to it because Nate brings up a point and then I'll expand upon it. He says, this is where I truly believe, coming from a place he worked for Apple and he was on the customer service, that his job was customer service for Apple, really helped me see culture and how they solve problems when they arise. There are companies that have scaled and are known for their customer service.
Well,
right? Think
there's
Chick-fil-A,
something for it.
right? Think Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
I just watched a video where they were talking about the customer service of, I think you probably did too. I think it was Killed Tony, of Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
And how kind they are at Dutch Bros.
Yep.
We can think of other like stores, right? H-E-B is known for customer service. And they all group. Buc-ee's, great customer service. Again, Chick-fil-A, my pleasure. So there's a way to do it as you get removed. You are right, though, right? If you're passionate, if you're close to the owner, there's going to be better results. The farther you get away, the better chance. But there are ways to permeate that culture and that standard even as you grow. And so it's like you got to observe those companies and how they do it and then see how it can be implemented in your own way.
I think I know what it is. I think I know the trick. I think the trick is that you need to be no more ever than one step away from a person who can make executive decisions. And that doesn't need to be a founder, right? It could be the person that owns your customer service department, right? That was trained by the founder. Now the escalations that would normally come from that person, it's like, all right, you got the keys to the kingdom now, bro. And with great power comes great responsibility. That person takes their job much more seriously, right? And they also don't make light decisions. They're like, if I'm going to do this, I got to be able to justify it and defend it to someone that's going to ask me about it. And so,
if they're lower, they don't want to make those money decisions. They don't want to say, hey, if I give this refund to this Nick guy, it's costing the company money and it's not my money. I don't want to do that, so they get like protecting of their job and interesting. And then
you make it their money.
Right.
And that's the second step. The second step to that is you bonus that person out, not based on the profitability, but the customer return and satisfaction. He owns customer service, not profit center. Right. He might need to break some eggs to make his omelet every day, but at the same time, like they're gonna be very, very calculated eggs that he's breaking.
Correct. And kind of two things here from Nate. He said, listen to this. We had a team that handled any emails that had Tim Cook's email. So if it went to Tim Cook, there was a team that took those emails and decided what happened with them.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow. And Nate says, yeah, literally nailed it. And then look at right here. He goes, that's exactly what we had at Apple. Yep. One simple senior advisor request and people's problems were solved. Yeah. We had a lot of room to work. See, that's how you do it right there.
That's how you do it. And you're
talking to people that are scared or not invested in Scally. And so that it's showing with the results of the customer service.
And now, so given that process being my ideal process, right? Like, okay, you shouldn't be more than this far away. You should be able to make executive decisions. That's why I haven't had 1 ounce of frustration with this person that I'm talking to yet, because I haven't asked the question yet, right? Like I just asked the question today. Hey, I think this is different based on who we are as a local Boston company. I think we could probably work together to figure this out. I think it warrants speaking to a manager. Let me know who I can talk to clear it up. Like, very cool email, letting this person know, like, hey, nothing against you. I think this one's different. Shoot me up to your manager that can make a different decision.
As you and every business owner knows, there are scams out there. There are nefarious characters. There are bad things to pick through the weeds through. And so they're having to distinguish between, is this somebody that is legitimate? Is this some kind of scam? And they probably have policies in place. You're putting it out there in a very clear way to be like, listen, I'm not some dude that's just trying to get money over you guys. I'm not trying to run a scam. I'm a local business owner. That should be a situation where they're like, okay, yeah, you go into this folder. We will take a look at this one and put a personal touch on it. That check has to be in the system somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it really is though. It's like Alicia said with delegation, that you can't do halfway delegation either. You can't tell people they need to care about something and then make them not be able to do something about it, right? And you also got to give them the incentive to make sure that they don't do something about it that's not to the company's best interest. So it's like you got to have the correct drive, the right motivation, but you also got to delegate and then give power where you can. And
freedom,
there's this concept out there that's called it was an old sales training book that I read. It was like, and it talked about the holographic team. Whoa.
Oh yeah. I love that. You've told me about that many times. And
it's a crazy concept. And like the way a hologram works when you look at it is like every pixel in the hologram has all the information about every neighboring pixel and every other pixel in the hologram. So like your eyes can see it from any angle and it sees the full picture.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's like that concept of every pixel having all the information about every other pixel when applied to a team is like, you don't just tell the team that's working on something what they're working on and not what everyone else is working on. You get everyone together and you talk about the whole process and the end state. The end state's the most important thing. And then that way everyone at least knows what they're doing and why they're driving towards a common goal, right? And they know what their part in it is and what the actual whole outcome looks like. And people behave very differently when like everyone knows what the end state should look like, because they might make different little micro decisions in that process that really make a huge difference.
I actually believe the best companies, especially mid ones, not ones that are just brand new, not ones that are 50 million plus, but the ones that are doing it and are looking to grow, looking to break through, is when they have employees or people with the company, they have the hardest time giving a title to their employees, right? If they say, this is my customer service rep, I know they're at a different stage than what we're talking about right now. Because if you give them a title, but then you also have to say, yeah, but they also do customer service, but they also do this, they also do marketing, they also do this. They like try to put Jill's title in a one line, right? You could say co-owner, okay, but then give all the tasks that Jill does.
That'd be a lot of commas,
right? But then do that with anybody that works with Dr. Nix, and there's a whole bunch of commas, but it's that exact concept.
Yeah.
They know way more than any one individual angle. And I feel like that builds a foundation where if you have a bunch of people with singular focuses, how do you get those to be balanced and level? If we're building a house, I need everyone level. I need that foundation evenly poured. And so that hologram method really works. And it goes with this, like Leo's saying, if the founder's name is on the door, and he said this before, actually, Leo, your words always stick. Just know that. Or is clearly linked to it, their customer service will sustain a high level. And that's your name, right? Could you imagine like the situation where it's, I think Leo's spot on, like spot on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
An interesting variable by Donald here. He says his family works in customer service and amusement park industry. Said it's very different when it's in the moment. It's a different world. It is easier online with emails. You can take a breath. You can pause emotions. You can come back to things. I agree, Donald. That is a totally different world, and one I'm not envious of.
It is. That is a completely different world. And like, I would almost say that one of the worst places, or sorry, not worst, one of the most challenging places to be in customer service has got to be in the leisure space anywhere, like parks, anything that you're dealing with people who have had something go wrong in a place where they're supposed to be having fun.
No,
I feel like you get the worst of the worst, right? Because like people are gonna come unglued, like you messed up their vacation or like their last day somewhere or like this family event or a birthday or a, you know what I mean? So like emotions are already heightened. And then you're dealing with the person in the group that's been elected to go make the situation right. So you got to like prove your worth in your little circle of people while you're doing it too.
Yeah. Imagine being customer service at a Disney park, right? It's supposed to be the best day of these people's lives. And the only people you are interacting with are the ones that spent 10 grand, was supposed to be the greatest time of their kids' lives. And every single one you're dealing with is because something went very wrong in their mental image of how that day was supposed to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yep. You don't get the people that are overly happy and need to come share with you how great lunch was.
No.
You know, that doesn't exist. That's tough. It's like being a principal. Why I didn't want to be a principal. It's like, you're so good at teaching. Let's take you out of the classroom and let's give you all the angry parents and terrible kids.
Dude, Alicia can attest to this one too. And I know you can in a different industry, but like, okay, just like teaching, the engineering world, for some reason, the technical world as a whole, Leo can probably attest to this. A few people in here can. Nate, you got this one, is like what for some reason engineers get promoted, engineer 1, engineer 2, senior engineers, engineering architect, all these things, right? And then after becoming the best of the best at talking to computers and being uber nerd, they're like, all right, go manage this other team of 8 engineers now. Now, okay, I know you're used to writing code, but now what you're going to care about is time cards, paid time off, and people's problems getting to work. And you're going to hire some junior guys too. And they're going to be in college and you haven't had their problems in like 20 years, but you're going to deal with those too. And I don't know what crazy. It is. They just, there's so many industries that do it, but I have never seen one as bad as the tech industry, taking people that like should have no business managing people whatsoever and saying, hey, you got really good at not talking to people. Why don't you go ahead and manage the rest of the people?
Yeah. Or airlines. Yeah, we're not happy until you're not happy. That's so true. And this, okay, number one, how the heck are we on a 26-minute topic about your Scully cap looking good, Nick? That's how this started. David Hill, I'm coming for you. You derailed my plans on the show. I'm just kidding. It's amazing. And I'm going to derail it more here because JB's laughing. Like, how do we get 26 minutes on a Scally cap? Nick's got a whole book of notes, you guys. That's okay.
Oh, I was about to just derail us again, too.
Oh, we're going to. And the good thing about notes is those will remain. If we do not clear them today, you guys, I am all on board for next week for a part 2. As JB said, it's what we do. It's what we love. But let me hit this real quick. And then I have I got a huge story, but I want to give at least a snippet. I'm going to give a snippet. And then if we have time, I got one that just everybody would love to hear and hear later about an experience this weekend. But
I would love to hear it.
Yeah, it is entirely worth it. Nate says people underestimate the toll it takes on you to have to put yourself in every single person's shoes, sympathize, and solve their problems. If they let you, it drains you. David said, "Sorry, no, I'm kidding, David. I love this talk. It's so true." So I did the Beard Expo this last weekend. And we are there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Not a single break in sight. When I say I didn't sit down, I didn't sit down. I didn't sit on a toilet. I didn't sit for a lunch. And it's just people constant. It's just a constant talking.
Day.
I also taught a class for an hour each day and then stayed after for questions. Now, I love talking to people. Those kind of expos, though, are genuinely like one of the only situations in my life where I have to have conversations with people that some of them, to be honest, I didn't want to have conversations with, but I have to put on a front as if I am interested in their conversations.
Oh, yeah.
My rest of my life, I'm abundantly appreciative of and do not take for granted. Guys, I don't say this lightly. I don't have to have those combos. If I don't want to talk with people, I just don't. And it's very, very simple. And when I left that expo, I said to myself, I am so unbelievably thankful I'm not in a traditional sales job. Now, I know people would say, Dan, you do affiliate marketing. It's not traditional. I tell you what I think about it. If you want to try
anything
stuff,
but traditional.
Yeah. If you want to try something, heck yes. I've never asked you to buy. I've never talked to anybody individually. Happy to share all my experiences, but I'm not the person that is selling stuff. I could not imagine, and this is not in any like kind of derogatory or stereotypical way, in the best way possible. I could not imagine being a car salesman. I would go absolutely freaking crazy. Now, I don't have a passion for cars, so maybe it'd be different if I did, but having all those convos would just be unbelievable, like unbelievable to do that. And my story for later is I had to walk away from a conversation twice. And it was actually with a different business owner at this expo. And I'll share it with you guys when the time is right. But I walked away from a conversation twice because I was getting upset and I didn't want to physically bring into the conversation. And yeah, I got like heated on this dude, and he's just a bumbling idiot. But this, yes, to all of that, Nate, all of that right there. It's so crazy. So dang crazy.
Dude, yeah, I'm shocked. And I know the only reason is that you literally had people in your face the entire weekend, because I'm thinking, like, based on comments, I can hear like at least 4 or 5 stories that I'm like, I know exactly why I haven't heard any of this yet, because it is like literally because you went from that traveling back, you had Command's Corner.
Yep.
you had basically what travel yesterday, right?
Traveled yesterday, right?
Travel yesterday,
Yep.
and now straight into normal night's sleep. Not like you're going to be making up for it.
Right.
You were up late last night because you had your head spinning from all the other crap that you did, and you were up early because you couldn't sleep, not thinking about stuff.
Well, so I got home.
It's brutal how that goes, dude.
Yeah, I got home. Sam was gone for the weekend too because Maddox had a soccer tournament in Cincinnati. And then Sam had left like 15 minutes before I got there to take Maddox to practice. When I got there, she texted and she was like, sorry that the house is a mess. I was like, that doesn't even cross my mind. Like, don't worry about it. I'm freaking beat, right?
There's still a house.
I get home. Yeah, it's still a house. My mind doesn't turn off. Who I am cannot turn off. So after like 2 hours, I text her and I'm like, hey, dishes done. Laundry done. Floors vacuumed. Kids, bath done. Hey, do you have the kids' lunch orders for tomorrow? I'll make their, and Sam does all these, right? Those are her jobs at home. We just do different things. And I'm like, lunches done. So I was happy, unbelievably happy too. She didn't ask me to, she didn't complain about the things, but it was just like, yeah, I can't stop. I just get home and it was just like, I gotta help, gotta do this. So
you know what the funny thing is though, sometimes you gotta be careful, and Joel can attest to this, is that like sometimes doing that can actually like, you have to clarify that like I've done all these things and I'm very happy about it. Like, because a lot of people would be like, well, I had to do blah. I did blah. I did blah for I did your blah and I did your blah, whatever it is. But it's like sometimes if I'm spun up from being back from like work or like a conference or doing something where I'm doing lots of public speaking, like I don't want to just sit idle by myself either. I will find something to do. And if it's like, if there's something that I can do around the house that's also impactful there, I'll do that. And it's by no means am I proving a point or being a pain in the ass about it. Like I'm literally doing it because I just can't sit still. I have to do something.
Same. And that was the whole concept. I just wanted, because she was gone too, I just wanted that weight off her shoulder, because I know what that's like to have a heavy list in front of you and it's just on your mind and you can't get it done. And so, yeah, and you better put those forks in the dish. Oh yeah, of course. I got this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is one of the first times that we didn't just put I didn't put a new dishwasher in the kitchen that we moved into in this house that we bought, because it was pretty much brand new when we bought it. So like the dishwasher was fairly new. We replaced the rest of the appliance actually to match the dishwasher, because it's like we liked it. We liked the brand. We liked the look. And we bought all other new appliances to match the dishwasher. And this dishwasher, silverware thing, has this great idea that keeps all your silverware separated, right? So it doesn't, you don't get spoons nested together that don't get clean, forks, etc. Now, the downside is the mechanics of this that we did not realize before we bought all other appliances to match this one.
Oh.
To keep everything separated, you have to go handle first, because the silverware fits in little slots that get washed inside this thing that holds them upright.
And it has it up?
Oh, yes, sir.
Whoa.
All up. So for the first year, Jill and I were stabbing ourselves in the hand with forks until finally we were like, all right, can we just agree that forks go in the back of the dishwasher of the silverware caddy and not in the front? So we now, to Alicia's point, we know do not go fork down, because you can't. We at least go fork in the back. So,
and Alicia, I've heard of this too. So Sam actually brought this up literally like in the last week. Oh, and by the way, bringing up things, Nick, and this is not a shot for not watching, but Monday, Commands Corner, my Monday rant was people that do not understand personal space. Literally, you can go back and check the replay. So when you just said, I can tell people were like right here, that was my rant on Monday, was people not respecting personal space, because that's exactly what people do. Yes.
Dude, close talkers at conferences. And why is
conferences? Always.
Okay. And is it that all close talkers don't brush their teeth, or all people that don't brush their teeth are close talkers? Which
correlation versus causation? I'm not sure.
Which one is it?
I'm not sure.
Because I will tell you that 90% of my close talker encounters have some sort of dental condition, oral condition.
Yeah.
That isn't good.
Yep. Nope, that was my thing. But Sam just brought this up, Alicia. She was talking to some moms at soccer, and one of the moms was like, "Hey, essentially, I've really enjoyed getting to know you and Dan, and it's so special how involved Dan is. I can tell that he's involved with the kids. I can tell that he helps around the home because Sam's gotten kind of close with this mom." And she was like, "You
Special
just,"
though?
she was like, "You just don't see that anymore." And Sam was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, they're like trying to explain that like these dads don't help watch the kids. That like this mom went on to say, like, no, all of our friends, they don't even leave their kids home with the dad because they're too worried that the dad something's going to go wrong, and that they just simply drink beer, watch football, and they don't go to all these things. And they're like, Dan's at everything. Dan's super involved. She was like, "You got yourself a good one." And me and Sam were both like, how like it's not
How does
like,
that work? Like I
there's
don't
not an award here. I'm not doing anything special. I'm
I don't
being a
understand.
good father. I'm being a good husband. There's no extracurricular star for going to your kid's soccer. There's no bonus award because my wife did not have the chance to do dishes and I did. And so I did them. That's not special. It's called marriage. That's called a two-way street. What the heck?
It's also called but that's not even marriage, man. That's like, it's like being a decent human. Like if you live with someone and you notice your roommate is like having to pull some extra hours to pay his part of the rent, and like you're home, are you going to complain to him because he didn't clean up the living room where it was technically his job? Or are you just going to do it? Like you're just going to do it. Like
it's not for points.
I had roommates when I lived in Georgia for quite a while, and I was like in my 20s. And that's what you did. It wasn't like, everyone had their things. And if for some reason someone needed to pick up other people's things, you did. And like, no one really complained about it. It's just like I don't understand though, like how people exist in that kind of a situation though. Like the women that are talking like that, right? Like I would have to assume that no matter how much Jill liked me in the beginning, if I like was one of those people that literally sat around and didn't do anything and would sit on the couch and watch TV while she's cooking or cleaning in the kitchen, or, come home or go, you know what I mean? Like any of those things that you just listed off, I would have to assume that we wouldn't have gotten to the point that we are at now, right? Like, how do people get that far down the line with someone that likes like do my laundry, cook my stuff, clean up after everything, have kids, but also watch them? I'm not going to help. And I'm just going to work, even though you do. And I'm not going to do anything else, right? Like, how do people get to the point of being married to people like that? I don't understand how, like, what's attractive there? Is it just they get roped in with kids and they can't leave? Like, I know people that are related to people that I'm related to that have that exact situation going on with someone that sits on their ass all day and doesn't do anything. And I'm like, how do you get to the point where you're like, you know what? This person sitting on their ass all day is exactly what I want to be around for the rest of my life. Like, let's go ahead and memorialize this thing and put some paperwork behind it. Like,
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't understand.
Right. I think it is worthy of quick story time because it's fresh. Okay.
Cool. Let's hear it.
So at the expo, see a guy talking to Joe. Joe is the owner of Beard Octane. And this guy may watch. He is a watcher of my channel avidly. Okay.
He's a good dude.
And no, the other guy.
Oh.
Joe. Yeah, Joe's a great guy.
Well, I was going to say, that doesn't change my opinion of Joe. Joe's a good guy.
He is a good dude. So this guy's talking to him. He's got like a white beard. It's like a medium beard, and he's chatting up. And then I hear like, definitely if you got people behind you like this guy, Dan C. Bearded, but like in a very positive way. And at this expo, I'm not like a celebrity or anything. It's not like everyone's like, Dan C. Bearded, oh my God. And so when someone says like Dan C. Bearded, and I'm not talking to them, I'm like, oh, they know who I am. Super cool, And so I turn to go talk to him, and he leaves the convo with Joe, and I get kind of the look from Joe where it's like the Holy Rosary, thank you for saving me and rescuing me look, like, dude, yeah, exactly, thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so this guy starts talking to me.
You're like, damn it.
And his first interaction with me is, now we had an interaction before, and I don't think you liked it, and I have no idea who this guy is. And he goes, I had emailed you to tell you that you need to condition your beard more because I would watch videos and I would find some videos where your beard was darker than other videos when your beard was lighter. And I know for a fact on those darker days, it was because you conditioned that day. And I know for a fact on the other days, it was because you didn't condition. And I've been telling guys forever about that you need to wash and condition. That's it. That's the most important. And I'm telling you all this in an email, and you didn't really take the info well. You didn't really want to like hear what I was saying. And yeah, exactly, Donald. Nothing to do with lighting, especially early on when my lighting was the kitchen table sliding glass door. Jesus Christ. And nothing to do with lighting, right? No, the time of day, no. And so he's like, you didn't take it well. Like you didn't respond well to my advice. And I was like, yeah, because, and I'm starting to get a read on the guy. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't ask for it. And I just stayed
sounds about
there.
right.
And he was like, well, yeah, no. And he goes, but let's be real. And this is how the convo went. He goes, let's be real. You and I both know that oil is only a styling product.
Huh?
I was like, I'm not going to get into it with you, but I don't know that. And he's like talking, and then he was like, yeah, and it's really all about the washing and conditioning every single day, wash and condition. Then he busts out a comb, and he goes, and he's super from underneath, aggressively combing his beard out. And he goes, I tell all my clients. So I'm finding out through this convo that he owns a barber shop.
Now and he's a barber.
Yep. Well, even more, just hold on. And he's like, I tell all my clients that you can brush your beard and comb your beard as aggressively as you want. And if you're losing hairs and you're breaking hairs, then you just don't have a healthy beard. Your beard's just not healthy. And he goes, and man, he goes, and I don't want to say that I know it all, but I make my own. He's like, I'm a barbershop owner and I make all my own products too. And they're just better than everyone else's. I've never been convinced at the Beard Octane booth that he just got done talking to Joe, but wait, it gets better. And I'm getting heated now. I'm starting to, and he's just talking and talking like I am, just talking and talking. And my hair's starting to stand up. I'm starting to get pissed. And he was like, it's just better than what everybody else does. And then he turns to me and goes, so why Beard Octane? And I go, not here to sell you anything, man. And I walk away. That's done. I'm like, Joe, holy crap. Like, if he comes, I'm walking away because I'm not going to make a scene. I'm not going to tell this guy he's an idiot. I'm not going to be like overly mad.
Taking the bait.
Yep. So I guess Joe has more of a conversation with him. Joe gives him some samples, I think, just to get him on his way. And then he comes back the next day, and I'm only speaking for myself here. I don't know Joe's thoughts, don't know Beard Octane's thoughts. It's just Daniel Command, Dan C. Bearded's thoughts.
Unbranded.
Yep. And he comes back the next day, and I'm like, God. So I avoid him. And we get back. Yeah, get ready for this. So he tries Beard Octane's products. He tries Beard Octane products on a client and says, you know what really matters? The client raved about it, really liked it last night. I make my own products, but I want to do wholesale with you. And he's like bartering and trying to do the whole thing, trying to set up wholesale, which is what these expos are for, is to get wholesale accounts. And so Joe's going through the process of setting him up for it. And then he's talking to another guy, and he seems to be in a good mood. I'm kind of around. And then this dude like lumps me in on the convo that I did not want to be lumped in on. And this is what I'll end you with. And this is when I officially walked away, and I would have crossed the line. I was very, very close to. He looks over and he's talking to the guy, and he goes, and like this. And I guess they were talking about the internet and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and like this, he goes, I'm almost embarrassed I didn't go further, but I'll just tell the truth here. He goes, and then like this, Dan, online, I thought he had this big, luscious beard, and in person, it's pretty thin.
Oh, man.
I just shook my head, and I'm like, not today.
If I had my black magic box plugged in, I'd be like fade out right now.
I had almost snapped back to my past ways, and it was just like,
it's like you just almost undid so many years of counseling.
Yeah. Do you know the only thing that helped me though, and I will be 100% serious, I'm very aware of my words. The only thing that helped me was the massive homeless population in Austin and San Antonio, because we walk everywhere there. And the homeless people said crazy stuff to me, right? Or unsheltered, I think they call them now. They said crazy stuff to me. And I was like, did I care when that person on the street yelled something about me? No, because they're crazy. They're out of their mind, and many are on drugs.
Right.
This guy is crazy and out of his mind. Why would I ever take his words with any value or worth? And that legitimately calmed me. And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, go enjoy your know-it-all self. You just said your beard products are better than everyone else. You just said that oil's a styling product. Why would I give any weight to your words? But that was the person at the expo.
Okay. And it's one of those things where if like you were an artist and you're sitting there and you're at an art show and someone walks up and their first thing they do is they look at you and go, this phone is white. This is a white
exactly
phone. This is a white phone. And then you're like, no, it's a black phone. Not going to argue with him, but okay, that's definitely a black phone, not a white phone. And then he comes up and looks at your painting and says, I really like it, except I don't think you should have made the sky green. And the sky is blue.
Right.
So again, even his criticism is crazy. And you know him to be crazy because he said this was a white phone and now he's calling your sky green when it's not, it's purple, and so it's like, you have to remind yourself that guy is literally just like babbling.
Yes.
Because
100%.
Holy shit. And here's the funny thing. That guy doesn't have the following online that would follow that on him like it would follow you, right? Like you lose, the two of you losing your minds on each other in the middle of a barber expo. There's one person who has who that would stick to, and it's you, know.
Yep, no doubt. And it's funny you say that, Dan B. Yeah, I don't think it was in New York. I think it was in Vegas, unless it was in New York and I'm mistaken. But yeah, Jay Major, he's an East Coast dude. He holds barber expos.
Oh yeah,
the CT Expo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
His expos are very different feel and vibe. He's a very flashy human, a very East Coast, like Jersey Shore, not in the best of light kind of ways as far as how he puts his image out there. There was a big old brawl at I believe it was the Vegas Barber Expo. And they got video of it and everything. And so I was like, yeah, it was close. It was close to that. And Alicia, you have no idea how much credit to Nick on stuff like this. There have been many, many, many situations where people are like, hey, we want your products in our shop. And Nick's like, well, let's get to know you. Do you fit our vibe? Do you fit our brand? Would we be a good fit there? And they're like, no, but we want take our money. Like, here's your money. And Nick literally has been like, nope, it's just not the right fit for us. And has probably saved countless problems that would have come about if he didn't listen to his gut instincts.
Oh, I've said no at least 4 times the amount of times I've said yes to any amount of wholesale, right? Like, it's been at least, and I promise it's been worth it. And I've never looked back and been like, oh man, I really regret that.
Yeah.
Some people have come back and made me change my mind. And then in that case, like, them doing that has been a good thing. And I have,
right.
And I would call that an evolution of a conversation, not making a U-turn.
But you were open-minded. You kept it open, and imagine the other side. Imagine me mollywopping this dude and then going viral. It's not my image. And Donald, I was joking. Donald has a Jersey Shore home. You are not the stereotype that I was perpetuating there. So funny. And Alicia, oh man, uncheck, yes, 100%. I've learned that lesson over time the hard way. Yep.
So many times.
Yep. Yes, I want money, but I don't want everyone's money. Oh, have you been in on Nick and I's conversations over the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, she has actually.
If he's sharing them, then yeah, okay, that checks out, because we've had many of those exact conversations. Yeah, right.
I think there's been maybe twice over the past month where Alicia has asked the innocent question of like, how are you? Or like, can you do X, Y, and Z next month? And it was met with like 5 minutes of me just ranting about something. So guaranteed, some of the conversations we've had have absolutely been included in a couple of those rants.
So dang true. It just, yeah, it's so wild. So that was when you were like, I deal with people and stuff, it was like, yeah, that guy. And he was about the only bad interaction. Everybody else was super pleasant and everything. I just couldn't believe it. And it's like, I couldn't tell if he was trying to bait me. I couldn't tell if he was just that out there. Like
that's like literally finding that dude. That's like hunting though. That's like hunting for like someone, the thing that you're gonna like literally like the thing that's gonna get under someone's skin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's like it's almost like he had to think about it.
He did not have a cowboy hat on. Everybody I met with a cowboy hat were very, very pleasant.
Was this guy from Texas?
He's from San Antonio. Yep. Yeah. It was interesting, but
interesting.
Yep. Overall good. Everybody, I love Texas.
Did you eat? I mean, did you? I know you're start to finish, but you guys have had to go out afterwards and get some good.
We had one real meal. It had nothing to do with Texas, unfortunately. This was the most schedule packed trip ever. I normally go and get a haircut from Ryder down there. Didn't have time to have a haircut. We were able to eat at a Brazilian steakhouse once after the first night because we just needed protein and needed some stock power. Other than that, it was Whataburger and Chick-fil-A literally every meal. So nothing too special, unfortunately. But
dude,
we did have, and this is on Nick's notes, super quick here. We did have the mothership experience. So I got to go to the mothership and got to see Sam Talent and 2 openers, and it was really cool. If you guys are fans of the show, Kill Tony, Heath Cordes was the doorman.
Did you get to hang out with Sam at all, or was he Sam down there?
No, unfortunately, I messaged him, told him we were going. He was super excited. I didn't ask for anything. I don't like to. I'm not going to get special treatment. I'm not looking forward to it. Would I have taken it? Of course. But I didn't ask for anything. Have the show. We were in the back, so we were in a booth in the very back, so we weren't really visible with all the lights up there. So didn't get like a call out during the show or anything, but he messaged me right after the show and was like, thanks so much for coming, man, and stuff. So he like at least thought of it and remembered it.
That's so cool.
But he killed. He absolutely murdered. His middle guy was not funny, but it was like his best friend his whole life and is from Denver where he was. And then the opener was really funny, but they packed that room extra tight, and you have to lock your phone. So essentially they take your phone and your smartwatches, they physically turn them off. They put them in the bag. Yeah, in the lock bag. They give you the bag, and then when you leave, they unlock it.
Yep.
And you have a 2-drink minimum. So I don't drink alcohol. So I got like a souvenir cup and then like a different kind of like water, just I don't know, like the one in a can, just to be fancy, I guess. And so it was interesting with those kind of things, but it was the outside very unsuspecting. You have a storefront that's like this big.
Yeah.
And you walk in and it's like you can go upstairs, you can go downstairs, very skinny place and not that big of a room. But it was really cool, really good ambiance. Nothing negative. And we went to a 7:00 show, so I don't know if that had to do with it. But 6th Street was empty. We pulled right into the parking lot across the street. We didn't have any traffic, no weird like big problems on the street or anything like that. We were in the upstairs one. I forget which one it was. I'm always blanking. I know it's was it Little Man and Fat Daddy or the room names.
I forget. Yeah, I forget. I should know too. We hear them all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like the club. I've like looked at it. I remember walking right. I know right where it is. I got tattooed right next to that damn place.
Okay.
Like literally, I think my tattoo shop that I went to down there, it was like for this tiny little guy up here on my armpit. And I went there when I was there for work, and there's a few little spots like that are right there.
We looked at Mitzi's, but we didn't go in or anything, but it's right next to it. Yeah. And I know what you're talking about too. There are a couple tattoo spots all right there.
That's where I saw the most the unpredictable outcome, human interaction almost in my entire life. First of all, there's a guy, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, Probably not. And he's a guy who is really famous for like a really bad internet video for a long time. And he's a famous Texas guy that walks around in a cowboy hat and a Speedo, in cowboy boots. And he was really famous for singing a certain song on the internet for like a little while there.
Okay.
Anyway, that guy was out front of this bar that I was at, right next to the tattoo shop, and it was the burger place, whatever that burger place is. There, this burgers. It's like it's a bar that specializes in cheeseburgers.
Okay.
And across the street, I look over, and it's another tattoo shop. And I hear this guy yell at this other dude, and this skinny hipster guy steps out of the tattoo shop, and he's yelling at like this really large Hispanic dude. And he's yelling at him, and this guy, the Hispanic dude's clearly drunk, and he's like covered in tattoos and shaved head. And I'm like, oh, this is about to not work out really well at all. And so, of course, I'm sitting there across the street, and I'm just like, eating virtual, figurative popcorn, watching this whole thing unfold. And the big dude kind of walks away. And then the guy is standing there kind of in front of his tattoo shop, just looking at the guy. And this guy's skinny. I say skinny. He's like, really lanky guy.
Okay.
And this big dude comes walking back up, and he starts pointing his finger, yelling at the guy again. And the skinny hipster kid just steps to the side and drops this dude with one hit right into the curb, right into the storm drain area. Oof. Then grabs the guy and pulls him back up onto the sidewalk and leans him against the glass of his tattoo shop while he calls the cops and has paramedics come to help him. Like literally just laid him out, picked him up, dragged him over, propped him up.
Hey, at least he's polite. They're polite there. So,
there goes 6th Street.
Very much Tangeny, Leo. We love it. This is what we do. I'm going to make sure next week is going to be episode 162. Nick's random notes shared part 2. We hopefully, I can't make promises, but hopefully we'll get to some notes. Just that Skelly cap, it just had a life of its own. But when you think about the lessons in it, when you think about so much, like what else would we want to do here?
I think that's the way it goes, and I actually really like it because you look at where it develops. And sure, we could have talked about video recording apps. We could have talked about Middle Eastern food, and we could have talked about falafel because that was on here. We could have talked about kids at the skate park that shouldn't be at the skate park.
That's what I want to talk about, the gang turf war on the skate park area.
Escalated. I mean, there's just so many things. Yep. Insurance, solar panels, roof jobs, solar leasing companies. All of these things need to be explored, shot down, and picked apart for what they are.
And how about you said escalators, I think. How about the new innovation with escalators where they have like Purell built into the rail system where when it goes through, it sanitizes it. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yep. It's gross though. It's gross.
They are. They're pretty rough.
They should be using hypochlorous acid.
Ooh, yeah. A little fogger out there.
They should be fogging them. Then you have fog machine. Listen, one person's solution made escalators sticky and wet. The other person's solution made them into fog machines with techno music.
We got to have lights.
Come on.
We got to have lights. We get to the top.
Well, you need the UV lights that are disinfecting. They pulse because it's disinfecting with the hypochlorous acid.
Yep.
You have the UV and come on. This is just obvious stuff here. Like we can't solve every problem for everyone.
It's just do like clean colors. Like your mind associates blue with calming and clean and stuff. We throw these like subliminal messages through it. I think that's it.
I think that's it. Nate's, I'm telling you, like just let us loose on the world's problems with the actual authority to do something about them for just a week. And we're going to just, we would make us the new Department of Government Efficiency. Like just scrap the old idea, didn't work out super great. And then I think we can actually go through and make some meaningful changes, like making escalators more fun. I mean, this is what people really care about.
On a similar final note, one thing that I had to come to grips with for myself, I am not faster than the people mover. Like, I think that's what you call it. The flat escalator, the people movers at the airports. I was in a hurry and there was some kind of slower people in front of me before I got to there. And I'm like trying to do the dance. Like, can I get around them? I can't. They're taking it up.
Gamble.
I'm just going manual. I'm just going on foot, normal walking by the side. These super slow people were just gaining the gap on me, and I couldn't close it. I was so mad, and I was like, okay, maybe it is faster to use the people mover regardless.
You know, it kind of is. Jill did that the last time we were in the airport, and I proved her wrong. You know, I definitely,
I had to admit it. My ego took a little bit of a hit, and that's okay. You have to check it sometimes.
You do.
And yeah, they were just just dusting me they didn't even know. They had like, I don't know, little birds going off in their head or something, and they were still beating me in this race they didn't know that existed.
I feel like Nate, we have a lot of we need to hang out, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we will be back next week. It will be on Tuesday, normal time, normal show. And we're going to get into some of those notes. We're going to hear about skate park turf wars. We're going to hear about editing apps and just little interesting things. We're going to get an update on a customer service experience from Nick. Why? Because he's the customer. That's his right to share the good, the bad, the other about that experience. He's entitled to that. I know I'll be here. I hope you guys will as well. Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Nick, final words for our friends.
I hope I have a good update about that company in question. I really do. I want to try to turn it around for them. I'm here for it, and I'm going to help them turn their public appearance around. One good interaction at a time, starting with me. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt to do it, but you only have to wait 6 days to find out, not 7. Look at that. We're going to be right back. And next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Here we are.
I love it. The positive spin of, hey, the good news about being on Wednesday, you don't have to wait 7, just 6. Stay